Numbers 16 through 19. First, we'll start by converting radical form to exponential, or the other way, exponential to radical. So first we just look at the problem and see what we start with. So number 16, I see a radical sign in that, so that means that this problem is in radical form. So I want to rewrite it in exponential form. So remember, with radical form, we'll just have some base, x, and then we'll have some root out here, n, raised to some power, m. And then we can rewrite that as the power, which is m, over the root, which is n. So I just need to match what numbers are in which location. So my base is x, so I can start there. Now my exponent would be here. Since there's none written, that means there's an understood 1. So my top number of my exponent is 1. And then my root is 3, so that is the bottom number of my exponent. So the third root of x written in exponential form is x to the 1/3 power. Alright, now with the next one, it works the same way, except notice we start in exponential form, so then we're going to go back to radical form. The number, that's the base, that goes underneath our radical sign. And then the bottom number is our root. So that goes here. We put a parentheses around. The top number is our power. And then we can just write that as the 4th root of 9. Now, if we could simplify that, then we would, but there's not a number, an even number, that if we multiply by itself 4 times, we'll get 9. Okay, so on number 18, that looks like the 5th root of 2. It's very similar to number 16, with an understood power of 1. Since it's in radical form, that means we need to write it in exponential form. So the number underneath the radical sign, that's our base. Remember our power, that's the numerator of the exponent, and then the root, that's the denominator of the exponent. Make sure that you superscript that 1/5. You put it up and to the right of the number so it's really clear that it's a power. And then finally, on number 19, we're going to go back and forth between exponent and radical form to simplify this problem. So I notice that I have 16t to the 1/2 power. So if I write that in radical form, 16t goes underneath. 2 is my root. Now it's a square root. I don't have to put the 2 there, but I will. And then the first power, I'm not going to write that because it's not going to change what I've got. And I'll do the same thing with my 81t. That's the base, so it goes underneath square root raised to the first power. Now I'm going to simplify. I can take the square root of 16, that's 4. But I don't know what t is, so I can't simplify the square root of t. The square root of 81 is 9. I can simplify that, but I don't know, again, what t is. Now I can multiply my terms together that are alike, 36. But with my t's, I'm going to put them back into exponent form so that I can add their exponents. So this is a square root, and I know that the power is an understood 1, so I'm going to put it back to the 1/2 power. Now we can use those exponent rules. When you're multiplying same bases, you just add the exponents. So 36t to the first power will be our simplified answer. And then lastly, let's look at number 20. So we're going to solve this equation. Now the first thing is on the right side, I have the 4th root of 625. So that's a number that I want to multiply together 4 times. That will give me 625. You've done this a few times in your notes in your Math Excel practice. 5 is the number that if you multiply together 4 times, you'll get 625. And then finally, we can divide both sides by 5. So our answer here will be x equals 1.